Hello, Anthony. I was watching Fight the Flat Earth video on you the other day, and he seemed to think it was pretty obvious that what you were looking at from St. Bees across the Isle of Man was not Maughold Lighthouse. And I actually told him that I thought he was wrong. And he said, no, it's pretty obvious. So I went and looked into it, and here is your video from about 6 months ago. So you're at the corner of the paddock there, looking across to Isle of Man. I've corrected your distance and elevation a little, at least according to Google Earth. If we go on to something like the Ordnance Survey maps, you'll see that this line here is the watermark at 0 meters above mean sea level, and then the 5 meter mark, 10 meters, 15, and then 20. You are here, so you are, my guess, about 17 meters, and we'll add a meter just for the fence post that you are sitting your camera on. All right, so plugging those numbers into the curve calculator, 31.52 miles at a viewer height of 59 feet or 18 meters. The refracted hidden, 261 feet, which is far higher than the focal height of Maughold Lighthouse at 213 feet. And I was like, shit, how am I going to squeeze at least 50 feet out of this? I mean, I could maybe take 5 meters due to the tide, but I wasn't sure of the time of day or the date that you took this footage. So I just went with mean sea level. Anyway, it turns out that I didn't actually have to do that. What I did is plot out the latitude and longitude of 38 individual buildings. Most of the buildings are in a place called Glen Mona on the Isle of Man. A few of them over here. And then a few of them over here. If you would like, I will make these latitude and longitude coordinates available in a KML file so that you can load it into Google Earth. I loaded them into my ray tracer along with all the elevation data from the shuttle mission, and then overlaid it onto a screenshot of your video after correcting the levels just so I can see the mountains. And as you can see, I'll do this very slowly and a couple of times. The terrain and the buildings match up incredibly well. So let's have a look at that again. In particular, pay attention to little houses over here. Some of those in Glen Mona, and obviously these ones here. Let's try it again. So you can see they match up basically perfectly. And the problem with that, Anthony, is that when I put the latitude and longitude of Maughold Lighthouse into my ray tracer, see where that little red cylinder is? That is the lighthouse. It is not this little white thing that you've identified here. So first thing we've got to take note of is that this is not actually a tall, thin building like a lighthouse would be. As you can see there, this is a pretty clear inferior mirage. It's mirrored from bottom to top. So this is not tall and thin. This is actually this building. And here are the coordinates on Google Earth. So as you can see, it's a fairly bright building up against a dark background. Obviously, it has a pretty clear and unobstructed view across to St. Bees. As you can see in the street view image, this is St. Bees somewhere in this direction. So yeah, I think you two clowns need a new catchphrase.